Hello, everyone. This is your host, Angie, for From Religion to Woohoo, and I am back with another episode for y'all. For those that might just be coming in and listening, my name is Angie, and I'm an author. I have a book out currently called Leaf Lessons: When Trauma and Religion Collide, the Process of Spiritual Awakening and Healing. And it has a lot of my own personal story in it and the healing process that I went through along my spiritual awakening and walking away from a religious mindset. And then a lot of intuitive messages, I guess, from spirit guides and from my father, who I lost in 2020 to cancer. That came back to give me some messages about what it's like on the other side, and then how to basically pushing me towards my purpose in life, and then releasing a lot of things that I was holding on to. And I think that's still the process that I'm going through. And then also I am a certified meditation and mindfulness coach and teacher, a Reiki practitioner, and a sound healer. I also worked in mental health for many, many years. And so I use all of that together now in supporting and helping others to heal. And just a little plug for you all, I am going to be starting a 6 weeks healing program, mentoring program. And for those that are already in the healing journey, like maybe have a therapist or working on some things, this is actually something that will work right alongside that. I learned in my own healing process through therapy and even working in mental health and, providing support to others that, I was not healing just with mainstream mental health. And it wasn't until I started doing the work that I put into this course that I actually started to heal. So they work alongside each other. Like, I still have a therapist I work with. I adore her, and it helps me so much. But I also know that you are your own healer. Like, you can go to somebody for years and think that it's going to heal you. But until you actually take the work and do it on your own and make it your goal to actually heal, you're not going to. You may put some Band-Aids on, you may scrape off some scar tissue, you may get through some of this, but to get deep down into your healing process, you actually have to do the work. And so this program is only 6 weeks, but it will get you started on the process of going deeper and manifesting the life that you really desire. Because I see all the time how many people, especially in the spiritual community, are just praying for things to go away, or trying to use creative, even things like spells and things like that. So nothing against all of that. Do you, I believe in the healing of medicine, or sacral medicine, herbs and using things like that. I mean, I burn sage in my house. I do rituals of my own, full moon rituals. I have crystals. I have all that stuff, but I also know that's not what is going to heal me. So to go on a healing journey, you actually have to do inward work, allowing your consciousness to begin to rule over your subconscious. And it's a hard journey, I will tell you. And I'm feeling a little somber this morning because this is something that, what I'm going to talk about today is something that's hard for anybody that has been through trauma or had, I struggle to even put myself out there sometimes because I still have this fear of hurting people in a sense. But I also am learning that I need to own my story so that I can be my authentic self and heal. And so there's this fine line of wanting to be fully myself and authentic and share like from my deepest heart and like truth. And then there's that line of like, I want to protect people. And I am learning that to actually heal and grow and be in my power, I have to not worry about what other people think or how they feel, because my story is my story. My perspective is my perspective. What I lived, I lived. And one of the things that I am working on is setting really healthy boundaries with people in my life. And this is not easy for somebody that grew up in trauma or abandonment or neglect or physical abuse or sexual abuse or anything. This is a very hard thing, and a lot of people that grow up in that atmosphere will become codependent in some ways. And codependency means that you are hyper aware about how other people feel and want to make sure they feel better. It's almost like not almost, it is neglecting your own self to make sure somebody else feels better. And so as I continue to heal this lifelong journey of healing, setting boundaries has been one thing that I am learning, and I'm so thankful for my therapist, because she is like my biggest support in helping me to keep these boundaries in line. But I always because my old self also wants to, like, I'm just a compassionate, caring person just by nature. Like, I always kind of lean back into my old ways and be like, well, I'll try, or maybe I'll try to help them feel better by doing this. And it's just, so one of these days I'm not going to, like, there's going to be a line of like, I'm going to give of myself when I want to give of myself. And it's not like a selfish thing. It's a loving thing. It's like, when I do it, it's going to be out of love, not out of like, I want you to feel better so that I can feel better kind of a thing. So speaking of boundaries, I am learning some lessons about what is important for my personal boundaries. And maybe you all will relate to this. I love my family. I do. And, my dad is no longer here, but my stepmom is here, and my stepsisters, and my brother, with my mom and my stepdad and my little sister. Like, I love all these people, like, so much. But I am learning that in my own healing, in the journey I'm in right now, some of the things that are coming up in me and needing to be healed are related to my past. And some of these people had nothing to do with that. But energetically, like, they're connected together. And I had a situation happen on Friday where it just really woke me up. Like, it was like, okay, I crossed my own boundary to try to serve somebody in my family, to try to do something for them, and then they ended up not even, like, so I went somewhere to spend time with this person, and they ended up not even being there. Like, they didn't even tell me they weren't going to be there. And so I'm like, and that stuff happens a lot within my family. And so I just kind of, at points I'm learning I need to be okay with that, like, not have expectations on other people's behaviors or how they act or respond to me, because when I'm in my authentic self, then I can keep my boundary healthy. And so I had this experience Friday, and then I had a Reiki client on Saturday morning I was supposed to work with. And when I do Reiki, I really try to get in tune with my own consciousness, my intuition. I spend time meditating. I prepare my house energetically, and I get ready for the session, because I want the session to be fully authentic and not, I don't want to put any of my anxious behavior or my anxious energy or thoughts into the session, because I want it to be completely about that person and that spirit that I'm working with. And what I found was I was just overly, I was actually really pissed off on Friday night about what happened. And I brought that into the next morning. Like, I was still pissed. And I was like, I can't go into this session with this kind of energy. So I was working really hard to get through it and release it. And I felt really good when I did. But then during the session, I had forgot to turn my phone on silent. And sure enough, I get a phone call from a family member during the session. And I quickly jump over and I, silence my phone so it doesn't interrupt the session. But it just that energetic alignment with the family, took my energy out of the place I was supposed to be in. It was it shifted me. And so I had to work to get myself back in alignment with my consciousness and my true self, because I felt that energetic connection with them again fill up in me and pull up all these emotions and feelings that are not my truth, are not who I really am. And I definitely didn't want to put that on my client I was working with. And so after the session, I intuitively gave her some messages about what I picked up, and she left, and I just had this epiphany, I can't be who I'm made to be in this life energetically, or embody my purpose fully and hold on to these people in my life. I can't do both. I can't stay in the past and move forward. I have got to set this boundary where I say yes when I want to say yes and no when I want to say no. And know the difference of when that is okay and when it's not. I not putting myself in a situation to make somebody else feel better because I think they need it, but doing it because I want to, or I want to be there, and then when I do show up, or when I go to do something and I'm not disappointed in the outcome of it, because I don't have the expectation to be doing it for somebody else and then them receiving it. So I really learned a hard lesson by doing that. And I told my therapist on Sunday morning when we had therapy, I'm like, I just hope this was the last time. But, I keep feeling my energy wanting to shift back into the old to help, other people feel good. And it's just a balance. It's a learning process. And eventually I know I will get there, because, I'm getting better every day. But this is the one area I feel like is just really the biggest struggle for me. Another thing that I have noticed in the last few days is I am doing some manifestation and speaking affirmations and positive statements into my future about what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And I have all these huge dreams. I mean, and I'm going to accomplish it. I guarantee you I will. I'm a driven person, human. I will make it to where I want to be. No matter how hard it's going to be. And I am trying to speak over it. It's not hard. It's going to be easy. This is my purpose, my alignment. And when I'm in my alignment, it comes easy. And so I'm trying to get into that energy. And so I started doing a manifestation series of reconnecting with my creativity and my inner self and my consciousness. And what I found, and this course is really great. What I'm finding, though, is the course is doing some inner child work where it's taking you back into your childhood and aligning yourself in that, in your, the little you, so that part, I don't know if the purpose of it is to heal that part, but what I'm finding is this, I don't think that the course was created in well, clearly there's not a ton of people that are meditation and mindfulness teachers, or that have the background of mental health and trauma awareness. And so this person leading the course is leading it as if there is you had a childhood where you felt free and abundant and supported and guided, free flowing. And so taking you back into that time when you're a little kid, today's session was 5 years old, and going into that freedom of being 5. And I just found myself weeping, because when I go back to my age 5, I don't feel freedom at all. like, I feel fear, I feel abandonment, I feel insecure, I feel like I don't know who's there for me or who's not. Like, I there's like all these emotions that come up me, and I just cry because I'm just like, that little me just missed out on so much abundance and like freedom, and like just imagining having two parents together, and imagining having stability, and imagining having, you know, just my emotional needs met. Like, I don't think I ever really went through any like physical needs. Like, I think I always had like clothes, I always had a home, I always had, like, maybe not the most, you know, glamorous at times, but I did have these things. And I really didn't, you know, ever live in like really major poverty that that I can remember. There's some things I can't remember, but because, you know, my mom was a hard worker, and my granny basically raised my brother and I, and like, I think money was a priority for the family, but that money took over like the need to emotionally provide, you know, for myself as a child, which I understand. I think that when somebody grows up in poverty themselves, they go to parent their child in the same way, where they want to like, whatever they lacked, they overdo it as they are. And so, I mean, it could be like, if you're abused as a child, then you overly like love your children. And, you know, I say overly love, but there's like a line of like allowing them to be independent and not having your emotions being fulfilled by how they are. Like, I'm single, I've never been married, and I love it. There was a time that I did not feel complete in that. I did not feel like I was okay, but I love being single. Now, if there's going to be somebody that comes in my life that aligns with me, that is on the same path with me, and, you know, I'm open to being with somebody. At this point, I really don't think I want to get married. Like, I would love a partner in life, but I don't know. Like, I'm just not, that's not something I've always like desperately wanted. Like, even as a child, I don't remember growing up thinking, oh, I want to grow up and get married and have kids. Like, that just never was me. And so I get pressured a lot by my mom to find a man, like, all the freaking time. And it's really annoying because she doesn't feel secure in herself without that. But she doesn't understand that I do feel secure. And so that is a hard boundary that I hold. But I also am not doing very good at speaking up for myself and explaining that, because I feel like I'm going to hurt her. So there's all these different ways to navigate through boundaries and through inner child work. And it is a grieving process in some ways, because you're losing the life you knew and stepping into the new. And when new things are scary, but they're exciting and liberating too. And so, but what you have to understand is, like, letting go of the old, it's okay to have a grieving process when you go through that, because that is like, you know, here I am at age 42, and I'm just working through letting go of some of that stuff. But I also have to understand that there's this sadness about the things I missed out on, or the things that I didn't have. I had a lot of great things. I did, but there was, you know, the emotional needs, the protection, all that, like, that was missing. But I had like everything I wanted. I had all the, I had the best clothes, I had the best shoes, I played all the sports, I did, 4-H, I did all these things growing up, but the emotional needs were not met. But that, I also understand there was not, that could not have been met because the people that were raising me did not know how to emotionally meet their own needs. So in myself, I am getting into this place where I meet my own needs before I meet anybody else's. And so if you're in this healing process where you are learning the balance of boundaries, saying no, and when you want to say no, or even listening to your intuition of like, should I say no or should I say yes? Because your intuition will always tell you. If you get quiet enough, and my therapist tells me this too, if you get quiet enough, you will hear what to do. It's in that panic and anxiety and that old self that you continually try to please the old you and the people around you. So releasing and letting go. And I hear that in my spirit all the time when I'm meditating, like release and let go, release and let go, release and flow, release and flow. And then if you read my book, which I highly encourage you to do, it is so good. Like, I know I wrote it, but seriously, I there's so many parts in it that it was so intuitive. Like, it really was just an intuitive writing. And I'm super excited about my second book that I'm writing too, because it's really intuitive as well. But I write about a vision I had of a leaf. And I myself, even though I had the vision and I wrote about it, I forget about it. And, you know, as I was meditating last night, I saw, like, what I heard was, remember to let go. Like, be the leaf and flow in the river, flow in that stream, allow the stream to take you, stop fighting the resistance, because as you stop fighting, you will flow and you will move into your abundance and who your truth is and who you really are. And so, like I said, if you read the book, you will understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about, but it is just a powerful message. It was a powerful vision that I had, like, when I was like 24 or 25, and I will never forget it. So if you're on a healing journey and you're working through these things, give yourself some grace and kindness. It is not easy, but it will get easier. And I will say it is getting easier for me. I'm just thinking that there's just some really deep layers that I don't even know are there that are needing to come out. And as I'm doing my own personal work outside of therapy, manifesting and connecting with my intuition and my consciousness, these things are coming up, and I am allowing the emotions to come out. Like, I'm allowing myself to cry. I'm allowing this layer to come. And there will probably be another layer after that. Like, there's always going to be, you know, I'm not going to say there's always going to be something you have to heal in certain areas, but that area will open up another area you can work on. And then, but releasing your ego and your, like, retraining your mind and changing a narrative of your life is a process that will not stop in this life. Like, our purpose on this earth is to continue to grow and continue to evolve in love. And love, period, requires that you love yourself first. And then that love expands out to others, and you have self-compassion and then compassion for others where they are. And you can have really authentic, real relationships with people when you are in that space. And I am really thankful. Like, I'm calling in my soul tribe, like my people, like, you know, to come into alignment with me in my life so that I can, you know, support them and they can support me. And as the soul tribe connects, you know, that abundance flows and we can encourage each other. And in soul tribes, you can be real and authentic with other people, and you know it's in love. Like, if you see somebody out of alignment, you can speak that, and it's not about like pride or selfish gain. It's about support. And so when you are with people that get you and are alignment with you, it's just an easier flow, and you don't leave energetically drained like I did this last weekend. So that was kind of heavy. So I hope that you guys take some time. If that triggered you in any way or brought anything up, just spend some time. If you meditate, spend some time in meditation, releasing, maybe let yourself cry, scream, whatever comes up, and just be really kind to yourself. This is a lifelong journey, and we're all on it together. Just, you know, if you feel alone, call in your soul tribe, call in the therapist that's meant to be with you on your journey, join my course, and we'll get there together. Okay. All right. I wish you guys the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. Namaste.